Thanks for having my back with that motherfucker. You know he want to take over and shit.
Park the car.
What?
Park the car. You know I got all this shit hanging over my head. And you wanna go and start a war with our partners?
Hey, this man diss me every time I see him. Acting like he the one charging shit.
In Compton, he do run shit. You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that always has to pay for it. So what's gonna happen now? You're gonna leave his people be. You're gonna stay off that man corners, or you the one that's gonna have to find yourself a new plug.
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it all down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
That was good.
Drive, motherfucker!
Let's go again.
Okay.
Still a lack of breast support, first of all, but that's just the minutia of it all. I hate when people do sides from stuff that's super popular because it's too easy to try to replicate it, copy it, and the cadence and everything is exactly the same. And so I don't love people being parrots. You're not a parrot, so give me your take on this. Let's go back again.
Hey, thanks for having my back with that motherfucker. You know he want to take over and shit.
Park the car.
What?
Park the car.
Great, let's go back from one more time. Just have some thoughts going on at the top. I don't know what you're thinking, but it's not reading for me right now. And it's partly, again, remember that brow bone thing that I said is just casting a shadow on your eyes, so I can't really see your eyes that much, to be honest with you. I can see them there at that angle. If you just tilted up about 5 degrees, that's all it was.
Oh, okay.
You guys hear what I'm saying when I say that? He has a very strong, a few of you do. Kim has one, you have one, you 50-50, you know what I'm saying? So just be conscious of the structure of your face, your facial structure, okay? All right. You're also dark skinned on top of that, Kim. So be conscious of that. And because of that, be conscious of your lighting too. These are very technical things that I'm talking about here, but in the storytelling process, we have to be conscious of them, okay? All right, let's go back from one. Breathe and think.
Hey, thanks for having my back with that motherfucker. You know he want to take over and shit.
Hey, park the car.
What?
Park the car. You know I got all this shit hanging over my head, and you want to go on and start a war with our partners?
Man, this man diss me every time I see him. Acting like he's the one in charge of
In
shit.
Compton, he does run shit. He is the one in charge.
What's
You
the actual
lose.
line?
In Compton, he is the one.
In Compton, he is the one.
Great. Yeah, something was being thrown off about the rhythm here. I could feel it, okay? Go back.
This man diss me every time I see him, acting like he's the one in charge of shit.
In Compton, he is the one. You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
Great. So, I have a question. Does he physically lose the fight? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Or does he lose?
He loses the battle, the same little battle bro was playing as the lawyer. That chess.
Right, right. I appreciate that you said that because that's exactly what I was thinking, is that he loses the long game. Right.
Yeah.
I incorporate another level on there. He lost the physical fight too. He's also getting his ass worked too. Let's say both. Okay? Let's go back to one. I liked the cutoffs that you had kind of built in at the top before. You went away from it on this one, now that you're saying the right line, because the timing of the actual line itself has changed. Readjust, recalibrate, move that over, and fit it on the end like you just did before, the first day. You're doing it wrong. All right, let's go back to one.
Yeah, he thinks behind my back with that motherfucker. You know he always want to take over and shit.
Park the car.
What?
Park the car, I said. You know I got all this shit hanging over my head, and you wanna go and start a war without partners?
Man, this man every time I
Great,
see
so
him.
let's take it back. That little spot sticks out to me a little bit of, you know, I got all this shit hanging over my head, because in the first moment, whether my friends know this or not, I use them in scenes all the time. So I'm putting myself this. I tested for Snowfall. It was between me and Izzy. Funny enough. But again, Kim Coleman, I wasn't right for that shit. It didn't make no sense for me. But Kim liked me enough. She brought me in, and I ended up going much further than they thought I would. It was not Franklin. It was Franklin. But in this scene, when I'm prepping this scene, I'm thinking about Sean. Thinking about Sean, who's one of my best friends I spend most of my time with, to be honest with you. And in this moment, there's a great opportunity to build in a misdirect that's not actually written, but it can be treated as that. You know, I got all this shit hanging over my head. Talking to my friend. Tell him about the stresses that are going on in my life all the time. And then it turns. So let us think, as the audience, that you're about to spill your guts about what's happening in your life, and then it takes a sharp turn. Let's try that. Let's see what that feels like. He thinks you're on his side all the way up to this point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's let us think that you're on his side.
And why is that? Who is this to you?
This is my best friend. I just had his back when he was just mouthing off to one of our business partners in the very before.
I felt like it wasn't-
business partner.
Right, because I felt like, I mean, I know the show. So
Yeah, no.
I felt like it wasn't clear if you were talking to like a random foot soldier of yours.
Or a driver.
Or you could be talking to anybody the way that you were doing it just now.
Mhm.
So I need to know that you're talking to your best friend.
So what he's talking about is relationship. He's just establishing the relationship with his friend, okay? Great. Let's go back from one.
Hey, thanks for having my back with that motherfucker. You know he always trying to take over and shit.
Park the car.
What?
Park the car. You know I got all this shit hanging over my head. And you wanna go and start a war without partners.
I mean, this man takes me every time I see him. Acting like he's the one in charge and shit.
In Compton, he is the one. You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So what's gonna happen now? You're gonna stay off.
Great. I'm the one who has to pay for it. Boom. That could be the end of the sentence, right? That could be the end of the thought,
Yeah.
right? It stands alone.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So I know that there's a beat change there. Because it again, yes is a complete sentence, no is a complete sentence. What you just said right there is a complete sentence. So there is a change in the rhythm and tone of the scene, because now he's laying down what's gonna happen from here out. There's a beat change in the middle of the line, right there. Okay? Find it and serve it. Great. Let's go back to that spot. You lose. Go from you lose. Ready. Pick up. And
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
great. Let's change that line to every period, time, period. Let's see.
Every time.
Great. Good. Let's go back. And 6-5. You lose. Action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga.
Good. Great. See, that changed up a little bit. Feels new, feels different, feels him. Great. Go back one more time. And same thing. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
Great. Underline I'm. Great. Step back. And same spot. Give me something different. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
Great. Make it sound like you're not a robot. Good. And again, action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay
Great.
for
I
it.
like that. Good. We're starting to get a little Shakespearean. Use a full breath on every and time. Full breath. Great. Find it. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So what's gonna happen now, you're gonna stay off this man corner.
Great. Have the thought. So,
Yeah,
what's
B.
going to happen now? Boom. Have the thought right there.
So, this was gonna happen now.
Great. Let's go back one more time. All right. You tried something. Didn't work. Let's do it. So again. And same spot. And you lose. Action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So what's gonna happen now?
Good.
You're gonna stay off this
You
man
had a thought
corner.
and you lost your spot just a little bit. Oh shit. Yeah, great. Really good. 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 Living in the moment. Living in the moment.
You're gonna stay off this man corner.
Great. Take it back. You lose. One more time.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga.
Good. Stop being a robot. You can let go of the every time thing and just do it however you want right there. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
If you're gonna say nigga. Take it back. And great. Let's go back. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So, here's what we're gonna do.
Good.
You're gonna
Felt that
stay off
transition
these
now?
corners.
Felt the so? Good. Take it back one more time. Great. Underline nigga. Let's go. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga.
Nope.
And I'm the one that has to
Nope,
pay for
nope,
it.
Nope. Take it back one more time. Underline nigga. Twice. Hold it. Caps it. All of that. And action.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it.
Good. Okay. Almost. Yeah. The transition right there is it's a little dicey, right?
A little bit,
Yeah. Right. Good. Breathe in for a second. Think. I don't want you guys to hurry up and try to take a direction right now, right fast, before you figure it out in your head. Rework it, and then let's hit it. Okay? Right? Whenever you're ready. And you lose.
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So what's finna happen now, you're gonna stay off this man corners, you're gonna leave his people be, or you the one that's gonna have to find yourself a new plug.
Great. Comedy happens in threes, and so does drama. Each one builds. You give them 3 directives right there. Let them build.
Okay.
You give them 2 directives and nowhere else. And an ultimatum is really what it is. But this is 3 things right there. Okay?
Okay.
There's this, or there's this. Right? Find it. And
You lose every time you fight with this nigga. And I'm the one that has to pay for it. So here's what's finna happen. You finna stay off this man's corners. You're gonna leave his people be, or you the one that's gonna have to find a new plug.
great.
The fuck I don't.
Underline you're the one. Right?
Or you're the one.
Right. They still didn't build enough for me though. I think each one builds.
Okay.
Great. Find it without pushing. Don't push now. Don't be tempted to push. They got it all 3 be different, okay? Good. So this is what's gonna happen. Right there. And pick up.
So this was finna happen.
Great. Give me a weight shift there. Turn your body to him at that spot. Ready? And
Alright, so this was finna happen. You finna stay off this man's corners. You're gonna leave his people be, or you the one that's gonna have to find a new plug.
You don't mean this shit.
The fuck I don't. I built this shit. Me! Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it all down just because you don't like the way another nigga talks.
breathe. Go back from I built this shit. You don't mean that. Let's go from you don't mean that. Give him a pick up.
fuck I don't. I built
Great.
this shit.
One more time, cut him off with that. I'm gonna clip it on the end of that sentence. Ready, and action.
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't?
Good, great. There's the timing. Let's go back one more time. And I'm specifically having you guys pick up at awkward spots sometimes so you turn up to listen to this, okay? Promise you, I know that it's an awkward place to start. And it's a very short sentence on purpose. Ready? And action.
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't? I built this shit.
Breathe. These are big ass breaths here. Use a full breath on the fuck I don't. Use an entire breath. Okay, ready? And
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't. I built
great,
this
one more
shit.
time. Don't act it. Great. Let's go again. And where's the frustration coming from? Build it from an organic place. Okay? Acting is hard, being is easy. The next time you might whoop his ass. Fuck that. This is our livelihood. If he keeps fighting with them, you guys can't eat anymore. Ready? Find it. Build it. Y'all hate to breathe in here. Find it. Your chest should move. Ladies and gentlemen, your chest should move. At some point in every single scene in your entire fucking life. Ever. And action. Go.
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't? I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I watch you tear it all down just because you don't like the way another nigga talks. Drive, motherfucker.
Yo, let's do that last beat one more time. One more time. And then whoever's on deck, get ready.
Last beat.
Mamadou.
You don't mean that shit.
The fuck I don't? I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I watch you tear it all down because you don't like the way another nigga talks. Drive, motherfucker.
Cut this way. There you go. Okay. Good. How about someone else?